Okay, and we are live. Hi, I'm Kaylee.
Hi, I'm Ajana Claire.
And today we are doing our classic Disney Princes matchup, which I'm excited for because I actually did a tier ranking for this that I didn't get to edit. And I was going to do it for during Valentine's Day, like around there, to do like who was my Disney prince I picked, which I'll tell you at the end. And I'm curious to know which one you would pick at the end too, Ajana Claire. But I thought this one would be really fun. And I asked on Instagram, and we got about 30 people on Instagram that had their opinions. So we'll go ahead and go through the pairings. So the first pairing is Prince Florian versus Prince Charming, because they're kind of the basic princes. Then Prince Philip versus Prince Eric, because Prince Philip fought Maleficent and Prince Eric fought Ursula. Prince Adam, aka Beast, and then Prince Naveen against each other because Adam was Beast and Naveen was once a frog. And as Jana Claire also pointed out, they were both like princes beforehand, and they didn't kind of marry into it, which is our next two. Aladdin versus Eugene. They kind of married into that lifestyle, but they're obviously against each other because they're both thieves. And that one has some interesting results I'm excited to get into. This next one is maybe a little less known. It's John Smith versus John Ralph, I think is how you say that last name, or Rolfe. So basically Pocahontas 1 versus Pocahontas 2. How do you say it, Ajana Claire?
I think it's Rolfe, but I had to look him up. Like I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah. It's been a hot minute. I always get angry with the second Pocahontas, so I just don't watch it. It's not a bad movie. I just didn't agree with the choices, which we'll talk about that. If you haven't seen Pocahontas 2, this might be some spoilers when we get to
I'm okay with that.
And then I think it's worth watching, though, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, we have we've decided, Zoel and I decided that we're gonna do like a whole Disney marathon starting with Snow White and then kind of go in chronological order. So we are gonna watch all of them. So we're halfway through Snow White now because watching with the 4-year-olds you can only get yeah you have to watch 30-minute increments.
I need to rewatch Snow White so I can maybe quit giving Morgan some flack for that being her favorite princess, because I just never liked Snow White, but maybe I'll change my mind. And then our last pairing, though, is Kristoff and Shang. So going on to back to our first pairing, Prince Florian versus Prince Charming. Jana Claire, who was your vote for this one?
So I voted for Charming only because I don't know. Because I feel like I didn't know much about either one of them. They literally have almost zero backstory. But at least I feel like with Charming, he had some command in over his kingdom. You knew about him kind of, even though he wasn't in Cinderella throughout the movie. He was the one who was I'm going to have, he's having this ball to find his wife. He has the command to send out all of these people that work for him to go find this one girl in this village. So I feel okay, he had more of a presence in the movie than Florian.
No, I agree. Which also part of it is because I haven't seen Snow White in a hot minute. But I would also have to go for Charming, because I just think he's the cute one. Florian is just not that cute. So on Instagram, we had 26 for Charming and only 3 for Florian, which, spoiler alert, Florian got the least amount of votes out of any of the Disney princes. Poor Florian. I'm not surprised either, but poor Florian.
Twice in the movie, right? You see him in the garden singing a song, and then it's okay, you're my true love because I heard you singing a song. Sorry, guys, Zoel's playing with her greenhouse in the background. Then you see him when he kisses her to wake her up. It's okay, you are the most basic of basic princes.
Most basic of basic princes. That's hilarious. It's true. It's very true. But I mean, to be fair, Snow White was the first movie, right? So I mean, I can see that was their very first. He's the OG prince. So
yeah, I give him some credit for that. Like he was the first one, and I guess like maybe because I mean, when Snow White came out in what 1937, so I guess the focus of the movie was more on the princess and her story, and the prince was just kind of there to, you know, save the day. But I mean, that makes him even more annoying to me because it's like you have like this huge role, right? Like you literally save her life, but you have done nothing to otherwise earn our good grace. Like
yeah.
you just step up and save her life because you happen to be a prince who kisses her.
I mean, I think it's an iconic scene, like the kissing scene, you know, but yeah, I agree. I think Charming, I mean, I would have liked if Charming would have been the one going around, like trying on the glass slipper with like his footman. But then again, I guess like realistically, you know, you can't. But also Snow White, I don't think had any spinoff movies, and Cinderella did. So we kind of get a little bit more with Prince Charming anyways when you get into the spinoffs. I remember it's been a long time since I've seen them, but I feel like Charming was a tiny bit of a bigger role in the later movies, but not.
He had more of a presence in the later movies. And it's funny because we actually have the spinoffs on DVD and we haven't watched them yet. Because I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The first Cinderella was so boring. It was like one of those movies that I feel like we watch because you have to watch it because it's classic Disney. But I was like half the movie. like you know, you have like those little fits and like those scenes where like, you know, where the sisters like go off and tear her dress apart, and then when she's going to the ball and the fairy godmother appears. But then they're like the other scenes in a movie, it's just like it was like watching paint dry. And I know people are gonna come for me for that statement, but that is how I felt.
Good thing Allie's not on here right now because her.
I know.
Yeah, actually, Cinderella is my mother's favorite princess, and I remember growing up, mine was Sleeping Beauty, and I'm not a huge fan of either now, but that's funny. That's really funny. Okay, our next one is Prince Philip from Sleeping Beauty versus Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid, and I feel like for me, this is a super obvious choice. Hey, Jake. Jake's on the chat.
Hey, Jake.
Am I not the MVP, Jake? It's okay.
I'm the MVP because I'm the one who people are going to come for after that Cinderella comment.
I backed you on it, though. I backed you on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, Eric has got to be my pick because obviously I just love Prince Eric. I do. I think he's just always been one of my favorite princes. He's very frustrating for me during the whole part where like she doesn't have her voice and like he likes her, but then he's like, oh, but you weren't the one that saved me. Okay, let me just drop you and go off with this random girl. But anyways, that kind of annoyed me. But Prince Philip was cool because he fought Maleficent. But then, you know, Prince Eric also fought Ursula. So for me, I got to vote Prince Eric because he just, you know, him fighting Ursula pushed him over.
I mean, for me, it was Prince Eric too, but it was also because I did see the Ariel spinoff movies, the Little Mermaid spinoff movies, and seeing him as a dad, like that, like also, so, and that's not really fair because none of the other princes had the opportunity to really be in that dad role. So seeing him in kind of that dad role kind of like elevated his status a little bit. But then also he had the cool sidekick. You know, he had Max. Philip didn't have a sidekick. And he was just more relatable. Like his people. Yeah. I mean, I will say to give them both props on that front, they probably were the least arrogant of the princes. Because I mean, Philip was pretty chill and lighthearted, and you know but it was just, I think. So this was one where it was like really kind of hard to choose because they were both good, but I think Eric had a couple little extras that just kind of pushed him over.
Yeah. Well, and in defense of Prince Philip, you know, he also, I mean, was going to go fight for the death for a girl he just saw singing in the forest, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go fight this dragon for her." So I mean, I give him props for that because you know Eric Eric's, had to build a good time with Ariel. And then even then, he kind of, which I guess he was kind of brainwashed into not, like, when she sang, it kind of brainwashed him a little, but still. So anyways.
I feel like for Eric, that was probably one of the things that just kind of annoyed me the most with him. It's like, you have this whole woman, right? Like, you clearly like this whole person. Like, you've known her, you've gotten to know her. Like, you actually had time to actually get to know her. Like, you didn't just meet her and hear her sing in a forest one time and then, like, she's like your true love forever and a day. Like, you spent time with her. She lived in your castle, like in your palace, and you had meals with her, and you really got to spend some time with her. But this, like, shallow, like, concept of, oh, this woman has this voice and she saved my life, so I have to marry her. And it was just like, really?
Yeah, I agree. I kind of think maybe he was, like, brainwashed a little bit, because there's that part, like, where he sees her walking on the beach and she starts singing. And I feel like there's, like, a moment where it's like, it almost is like mind control. And, like, he kind of is in a trance to go with her. So I feel like it partly wasn't his choice, but I was kind of annoyed. Like, oh, you're just going to go. Weren't they, like, getting married the next day or something? So it was really quick. But yeah, Eric won that one, including our votes. It is 25 for Eric and only 6 for Philip. But I mean, he fared better than Snow White's prince, so I'll give him that. Okay, so the next one is the one that, oh, Christina is here. And this is perfect that Christina is here, because this is the one. Christina, you're going to be a little upset. I was about to say, I hope you have your sound on and you're hearing this. I hate to break it to you. We're doing Prince Adam versus Prince Naveen. And Prince Naveen won. Prince Naveen won it on Instagram 18-12. So he kind of he got beat by a good 6 points.
That's heartbreaking. That one's heartbreaking. Like, you guys all know how I feel about Naveen. Like, I'm not, like, after the end of the movie, like, when he kind of came around, I was okay with him, but he's just still, like, he hasn't earned it yet. Maybe they need a sequel for The Princess and the Frog, because I'm still, like, not his biggest fan. Like, I don't know. He just seems so self-serving. Like, I know both he and Beast had a lot of growing to do. I just feel like Beast grew more.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Beast, and that's kind of, which I haven't seen Princess and the Frog.
Exactly, Christina.
Yeah, Christina's very upset, and I don't blame you. But my vote would be for Adam, because I feel like he, he did grow more, and he was, like, less selfish at the end, obviously, and he found true love. I agree with you, Christina. I think it should have been Adam. Unfortunately, we are where we are. However, I mean, if you count our votes, it's a little closer. We can call it 15-18, but still, I mean, he got beat pretty bad on Instagram. We'll blame the Instagram people. I don't know why they voted the way they did, but
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, I'm really kind of digging deep to think as to why people would choose Naveen over. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, yes, he did come around and he was willing to make a sacrifice. Maybe it's because he was willing to make the sacrifice and marry Charlotte and not marry Tiana to help Tiana get her restaurant. Like, maybe it was like that. But I'm like, that's really, there's really not much more that I can think of.
Yeah. I can't really put an input. I will say, Christina. Christina's very upset. This is like the equivalent to Tim during our villains matchup when Maleficent didn't make it out of the first round.
Yeah, I still lose sleep over that one. Like, seriously.
No, but Christina had a comment on here. It popped up on my phone because I can see them on my phone quicker, and it said like review comment, and apparently this comment got blocked because she said Naveen is a loser, and YouTube. It's not even showing up on StreamYard, so I can't show it. But she literally was like, "He's a loser," and YouTube was like, "Oh, is this something you want?" It is YouTube. It is.
Yeah.
I already I wrote Adam as the winner because that's what. But
how could you not know that? And it's funny because Christina's reading Rebel Rose right now, and I know that shouldn't factor into it, but the Beast character in Rebel Rose, Leo, he just added a whole nother level to Prince Adam, as Adam and not Beast, even though I don't know why they call him Leo in that book, but
okay.
but it's there's personality characteristics that probably clouded my mind that I feel should have been considered because that most people are like, what are you talking about? I haven't read that book, but if you haven't, then follow along Christina's Read Disney as she gives you the synopsis for it.
That one was a hard one. Now this next one, I feel was also it was not as close as I thought it was going to be, and that is Prince Eugene versus Aladdin. And I thought this one was going to be so close, but Prince Eugene knocked it out of the water on Instagram.
I don't know. I saw that when I voted, and I saw that he was in such a big lead, and I mean, I guess I get it, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of women fell prey to the smolder.
I mean, I am one of those women. I do love the smolder. I do. I love the smolder. It's not just that. I feel like I love Eugene because he's vulnerable. He has all these guards up, but then when he lets Rapunzel in, he's so vulnerable. It's so adorable. And I just love it. Now, I also really love Aladdin. And on my March Madness pin tag, which will be up eventually, I swear it will, I actually picked Aladdin as my favorite prince because I'd already done two of the questions for Tangled. And I was like, I can't do Eugene again. Plus, I didn't have another Eugene pin. Yeah, Jake, Aladdin lost. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah. He lost a lot. So based on Instagram, Eugene had 22 votes and Aladdin only had 9 votes. So
what? That's crazy. That is
for Eugene and 9 for Aladdin. Yeah. It was
one thing for him to lose, but he got obliterated. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Exactly.
Florian drinks in his memory. Yes. I know. And look, I love Aladdin. And we talked about this in our group chat last night. One of my favorite, it's funny because my 2 favorite romantic Disney songs are actually from both of these movies. It's the Eugene and Rapunzel in the boat with the lantern, see the light. And then also I Can Show You the World, with Aladdin. So this one was a hard one for me personally. I
don't know. I just feel like Aladdin sacrificed a lot more than Eugene did, and I feel like he grew. They both grew as people. Let's I give them both the fact that they both grew as people, but I mean, Aladdin grew a lot more. I feel like than Eugene.
Yeah, for me personally, it's 50-50. I would vote for Eugene. And Christina says she loves Eugene. It was his interactions with Max that did it for her. He is very funny. I think I think Genie was a great addition with Aladdin and seeing Aladdin and Genie together. But Eugene was so funny. He was a very comedic character, which I love. And I just love Rapunzel's innocence and how... I don't know. I just love, they're my favorite couple. So I won't go on because that would be the whole show. We are going to do down the road. We'll do a couple show where we talk about the couples overall, but Eugene won it for that one. So poor Jean Claire, your people aren't winning this round.
This is typical of my March Madness brackets though.
Yeah.
I'm usually out in the first round.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one, I don't know how many people have actually seen both of these characters. I felt like this for me, I needed this poll for my soul because it is John Smith from the OG Pocahontas versus John Ralph or Rolf or however you say that last name from Pocahontas, the second Pocahontas. Now, as Jeanna Claire said, she had to look these characters up, or the second one.
I mean, I knew who John Smith was, like from the jump. I knew who John Smith was. I did not know who John. Like I didn't even know there was a second Pocahontas until today. So I had no idea who he was. So I automatically just voted for John Smith because I didn't even know who the other guy was.
Yeah, he did. John Smith did win on Instagram 20-7. So he had a pretty big lead. And I do think a lot of people didn't know who maybe John Ralph was. Yeah. Personally, I had both on VHS growing up. So I would watch them both. But then I got to a point where I would just get so mad. She said she just clicked on one. Well, I hope you, let's see. Hang on.
Who did she vote for?
I must see who you voted for. Wait, let's see. Wait, where are you at? I don't know why I'm not seeing you on here, Christina. It's like not showing me where you voted. I'm joking. I know you voted. It's just not showing me who. But all of my people that are in our group chat voted for Smith, so I will not give you guys any heat for that one. Oh wait, no, it's not showing me because you voted for Ralph. That's why. Christina, I'm joking. Katie also voted for him. Katie, I'm joking.
So what's your issue with Ralph? I don't know who he is.
It's not even that I don't like him. It's really not. I actually quite like the guy. The fact is so like they like, you know, she comes to England and she feels like she's trying to be like it's like a different person, you know, she's having to wear all these dresses and it's just kind of out of her league, or not out of her league, but it's just out of her comfort zone, I guess. And she feels like she's not being true to herself. And that's part of why I didn't like it. But then also, this is a spoiler. So if you haven't seen it, which Christina, I guess you haven't seen it, unless you're just curious and you don't care, you can listen. This I'm gonna have to spoil it to tell you why. So at the beginning of 2, John Smith is like on this mission or whatever, and you think he died. And I'm pretty sure, it's been a long time since I've seen it, I'm pretty sure she thinks he's dead. Like, I think she finds out and she thinks he's dead. And so, like, you're like, okay, well, they can't be together. And so then you're, like, okay with her being with this Rolf guy. But then John Smith comes back at the end and wants to be with her. And she turns him down to stay with Rolf. It just breaks my heart. So anyways, I
can't just leave her husband because of some old love.
They weren't together. They weren't even together yet. Like they were just flirty. But she had been with John Smith before. They were like still like together. Like I don't know. Anyways, it's a long story. It's a lot of things to sort through. And I also don't feel like I remember it exactly the way. I don't want to like say something and it not be correct. Because
I definitely need to go back and watch the Pocahontas movies then, because that sounds like a lot of drama for a Disney movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard because like he comes back for her after he was presumed dead, and she's like, no, bro, I've got this other guy, and I think the reason they did that is because it's based on Pocahontas in real life, and in real life she didn't really have a romance with John Smith. She had a romance and she married the Rolf guy. So anyways, they're trying to make it accurate, but you shouldn't bring John Smith in there and make me have all these feels for them and then, you know, do that. It is a lot of drama, Christina. It's a lot of drama. Yeah. So anyways.
That's the beauty about Disney though. Like, you know, people are like, oh, Disney's for kids. And like, if you really watch the Disney movies, yes, there are princesses and fairies and trolls and villains, but the actual storylines, like when you actually pay attention to the storyline, You're like, this is some adult stuff. This is really
Notre Dame, however you say it.
Oh my gosh,
that one has a lot of adult stuff in it. I mean, there's several. Jake says it sounds like a soap opera. It definitely felt like a soap opera watching it, which keep in mind, these are my thoughts from the last time I watched it when I was like 10. So I could definitely have different feelings now rewatching it, but I still kind of like, what's a movie wrongs me? Like, no. Okay. So Smith won as he should. Our last one, which I'll double check and make sure our numbers are still there. Yeah, it's still the same. So our last pairing was Kristoff versus Shang from Mulan. This one was way closer than I thought it would be because I know people love Frozen. So I automatically assumed it would be Kristoff. It's pretty close. But before I reveal the actual count, I'm going to give Jean-Claire a chance. What do you feel about these two?
So this one was the one category where it wasn't a clear yes or no for me. And this one I had to like really kind of dig deep and think about. And ultimately I had to go with my boy Kristoff. Just because I don't know, like he's actually he's like one of the few princes that I feel like he could exist in real life. Like he's funny, he's sweet, he's handsome, he's just a nice guy, he's quirky and weird. You know, I mean, he has some little nasty habits in there, like sharing carrots with Sven, but I gave him a pass on that. I'm like, when you see his little backstory, you kind of give him a pass on a lot of his antisocial behavior. But it was a hard one.
He is not handsome. That's fire, Christina. He says,
he's not a good writer. He's handsome. But he's so sweet and he's so good to Anna. And I don't know, for me, I'm just more of a person who actually cares about me, and that's what I got from Kristoff. When you talk about like true sacrifice, you know, I just feel like he's just a really good guy. And that in reality, like if I'm going for some yeah, he's hotter and stronger. I'm not, but at the end of the day, like we're not fighting battles every day. So I don't need hot and strong. I need the man who's going to run my bathwater when I come home and make sure like I have soup when I'm sick. And I feel like Kristoff is going to be that guy. So that's why Kristoff is my guy.
He's a pushover. Yeah. Okay, I think at the end of the day, Kristoff would be there for you 100%. Yeah, I loved him. He was so sassy at the beginning with Anna, and I love the part where he was like, "So you're marrying a guy that you just met?"
Yeah, like you're kind of like crazy.
Yeah. Well, we know you need a beast, Christina. Your beast got knocked out early, which April. Since you were on now, I think was it April or Morgan? I struggle for some reason with this, but Beast didn't make it past preliminaries, and Christina's very upset about that. So we're we're having a moment, but you know what? I really don't know if I can even pick. It's a very, very hard choice between these two. My like first instinct would be Shang because I do love Shang. And I don't know. I don't know why I love him. And I love Kristoff too. It's so hard.
This was probably the toughest part because you're right, Christina. Like you look at Shang and you're like, he's hot, he's strong, he got your back, you're like well protected. But at the same time, Kristoff was always there right when Anna needed him. He was always there. In Frozen 2, like she was about to be crumbled by those little giant rock thingies, and here comes Kristoff and Sven out of freaking nowhere.
Morgan. I think Morgan was the one that was really about Beast. Um,
How are you on the fence about that? Like, how is that even a choice between those two?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, how could you even be on the
Wow, what's going on here? The best day ever.
Okay.
Okay, well, I will say, I think at the end of the day, oh, Christina says, give me Sven over Kristoff.
The reindeer, Christina.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to vote Kristoff. So at the end of the day, it's Kristoff 19 versus Shang 15. Ask Zoelle. Zoelle will be our last vote. What does Zoelle think?
Zoelle, Kristoff, or the guy from Mulan?
He's from Frozen too.
No, which if you had to pick, would you pick Kristoff or would you pick the guy from Mulan? Kristoff.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We're just disappointing you today. Okay. So next up, we have Charming versus Eric, which I feel like this one, for me personally, is a super easy choice because
it's so easy.
Eric. These were hard to match up. I had kind of the hardest ones at the beginning, but like you get to a point. Some of these princes, the early princes too, they just can't like they're just so like they have less layers. So it's hard to like, but I mean, Eric, to be fair to like the earlier princes, Eric does, I mean, he has a little more, I guess, to bring to the table.
Well, I think this is also more of a fairer matchup too, because they both have sequels, right? So you can, and they both, you see them more in the sequels. So you definitely see Charming more in the sequels. And so if you're looking at Charming, I mean, I still can't see him winning this round, but I can see him holding his own up against Eric, because you see him dealing with the stepmother and the stepsisters and befriending like the little Cinderella animals and so
well, if you're also considering too, and I look at this when I'm looking at these as well, is like Once Upon a Time, which I know Tim mentioned that, you know, too, about like how, you know, Charming and even Snow White's prince, is it? Well, Snow White, so technically his name is Charming in Once Upon a Time, but he's with Snow White. So I don't know if I don't really know what we're supposed to do with that. I don't know who he's supposed to be in that. So, because we have another Cinderella in her prince in Once Upon a Time, but
I've never seen Once Upon a Time, so
girl, we could have a whole series about that. It's
so need a whole another show to watch. Oh my god,
you would love it so much. It's really good. I mean, it has some like off season. No.
Okay,
you can binge it, but I would say like it's so good. It's so good.
I like watching shows that are no longer on the air because just watch it straight
that's
through.
the way to go, because then you don't have to wait during like off season and be miserable, which is always what happens to me. I always like get it right as it's going on to off season. Christina likes Once Upon a Time. Yes, it's so good, Christina. They got like they have some interesting matchups. Like it's very if you watch it, we'll have to do like a couples or like probably a character bracket or something, because I tell you the characters are so like some of the villains are like very interesting in Once Upon a Time. That's for another time. But so Eric, is that who you're going with as well?
Yes.
Yeah, my boy. Okay, so this next one, I feel like I also know how this is gonna go. And it's Naveen versus Eugene.
Okay, so I didn't vote for Eugene the first time. So this bracket is I voted for neither prince in the preliminaries on this round, but we all know how I feel about Naveen, so clearly I'm not voting for him.
Yeah. April said her nurse, when she was having Emma, thought she named her after Once Upon a Time, because the main character in it, her name is Emma.
That she's down for a reaction video. Oh, that would be a fun series.
Look, I thought about this before because I don't know if I could do
it. You did it.
Okay, I did it. There's Wonderland. There's Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did them for Wonderland, and they're on my other channel. I've got to re-edit them and upload them here. Which Wonderland was so good. It was just 13 episodes, I think, or 16. It was one season. But I had thought about like doing discussions on like maybe not even every single episode, but it's definitely coming in some capacity to my channel, or I'd be willing to, collab with someone else because I love Once Upon a Time so much. So I'd love to have you, Christina, whenever I get my crap together and we can do something like that. So you said you're going to vote for Eugene by default.
Like, is that even a question? Like, the only reason Naveen even gets brownie points is because he's with Tiana. Like, if it wasn't for Tiana, like he whatever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it was Adam versus Eugene, you think you would definitely go Adam?
Oh yeah, for sure. If it was Adam versus Eugene, I'd definitely go Adam.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Eugene. Eugene's my boy. It's maybe the smolder. Maybe I'm just like brought into the smolder.
It's funny. Like, overall, as a character, he is funny. I'm just thinking in terms of like I look at like the.
Who would be the best romantic partner for you?
So I'm always looking at the best romantic partner for me. And Eugene wouldn't be it. Like, we'd be competing for mirror time. Like.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Adam would be a good one as well. But we'll push on Eugene because poor Adam. I mean, blame the Instagram people. Blame them because they didn't want him to make it to semis. So.
I'm thinking, well, maybe they were looking at Adam as. Well, no, because
just like the end, like him.
Yeah, because he was really only Adam for like when after the kiss and for the dance, like maybe they're looking at it as well. He wasn't really like I look at it as he was Prince Adam the whole time, just in his form. But maybe some people just were looking at the fact that if you look at it just like when he was Adam versus Naveen when he was Naveen, you definitely have a lot more Naveen, and Naveen is charismatic and he's flashy and he's fun. Maybe that's why people chose him.
Yeah. I don't know. I do think too, people talk about like I was shocked that like Christina and Morgan were like, I love Adam. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like I'd always heard in the community people talk about, oh, like he's not even cute. Like when he transforms, I heard that with the live action. They said that he wasn't cute. And so I feel like people kind of like, I wasn't shocked really that Naveen won based on just like what little bit I knew about Naveen. And like from what I'd heard about Adam. So I don't know. That's kind of like maybe part of it. Because I think Adam is just kind of overlooked. And also like you said, I think me using the picture maybe of just Adam and not Beast was part of it as well. Maybe just swayed people some.
I mean, it may even because you may even have to do a double take. Because like I knew who Adam was because I just like Beauty and the Beast, and so, but. Honestly, like if I really wasn't like, and I was just looking, I'd be like, who the hell was Prince Adam?
Same. Yeah. Instagram gave him no love. That is true. I mean, he lost. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it was 13-18. So I mean, he was closer than some of our other ones. He wasn't as annihilated as Aladdin. That was 9-22. So I mean, it just. And you can't make an excuse about Aladdin. Aladdin like should have done a little better than that. It was the smolder though. The smolder got him. Okay, so then we have our two kind of manly men over here, Smith versus Kristoff, which would be very interesting in like a battle. Like, I used to go to Gatlinburg and they had the lumberjack feud. where you would be like on two different sides. I think it was like north and south or something, and they would fight. And I could just imagine John Smith and Kristoff doing like this lumberjack feud against each other. It would be hilarious.
It's a harder one. I don't know, John Smith versus Kristoff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's harder because I want to give Smith a fair shot, and I just don't feel like I remember that much about him. And I tried to do like a little bit more research, and it just. But yeah, no, I still have to go with Kristoff.
Let's see what Christina said. Can Chris even?
I was actually thinking the same thing though when Kaylee started talking about the lumberjack. I'm like, because I know John Smith like can shoot a gun, and but I'm like, I don't know, like. I mean, he's his ice pick. I
would like to see them do the lumberjack fight. I think it would be very entertaining. I don't know. It's a hard one for me. I liked John Smith in that he, he kind of was like, it was kind of like he came, and I think of that song Pocahontas, sings to him where it was the colors of the wind, and is like educating him about, like you don't own all this land. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Like him being, and standing up for her. So, I mean, I like him for that, but it's hard because I also like Kristoff a lot.
Kristoff is still in for me. Like I get all of the downsides that Christina's talking about, but look here, like he never had a reason to bathe before Anna, okay? So I'm pretty sure that he's bathing now. Like he looks very handsome now, and he's like all cleaned up in his suits and stuff. Like I think his hygiene has been taken care of because he's no longer living in the forest with trolls, and he's living in the palace with and I don't think Elsa's with the shit. So Elsa ain't gonna let him sit there and not bathe.
No.
But I don't know, like it's just still his like personality, just the idea. Like he's a man who's marrying a queen, and he knows how to let her shine. Yeah. And for me, that's very relatable. Like Christina says she needs a beast. I am a beast. So I don't need a beast. I need somebody who knows how to tame my beast.
Love that. Christina with the strong opinions on the chat today. Hey, Tammy, you came in at a very funny time. Christina's very upset about Crystal. I'm sorry. I think for me, my vote is going to have to be also for Kristoff. I love John Smith, though. I do. Don't get me wrong. But I agree. I think Kristoff has just got like more of that emotion, and he would like take care of you. He's just kind of like, if you get past the no bathing part, he's sweet. But I think John Smith might not have
I feel like that was an issue when it's the difference between Bachelor Kristoff and Married Kristoff. There's a difference.
That's true. Okay.
Most dudes have this is a really bad generalization, so don't come for me on this one either. But in my experience, when I was younger and in the dating world, Bachelor dudes had some real, if you just judge based off the Bachelor lifestyle, you'd be like, we just can't be friends. Boys are nasty. But you clean them up, you make them all shiny and pretty, and there you go.
Christina, I just need to frame some of your comments. Okay, so we are down to our final three because Eugene got the biggest margin in the Instagram game. He's just automatically, I'm gonna push him to final two. So our next matchup to get to final two is Eric versus Kristoff. Eric versus Kristoff.
Ooh.
This one's hard. Oh gosh, I don't know.
I have to go with Eric.
Really? Okay, I was thinking you might go Kristoff.
Because I feel like Eric has a lot of the same characteristics as Kristoff that are attractive. And he babes. And he's more handsome. And he actually fought the villain. So we know he can fight.
I mean, yeah.
And he's a dad. So again, Eric with the dad factor, like if you've seen the sequels, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, Tammy also says Eric, so that's another vote for Eric. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. I feel like it's hard. All these are hard.
I mean, it's not an easy one. It's not an easy one.
No.
But if I'm true to what I'm saying about Kristoff, I feel like Eric is Kristoff plus.
Yeah.
Like, he has all of the same qualities that makes Kristoff awesome, but then he has other qualities that we haven't seen Kristoff exhibit yet.
Yeah. I know Morgan had a rule kind of last week that she's like, oh, like go off the first movie only. But I feel like with Eric, well, okay, they both have
going off the first movie. Even just leaving it at the first movie, not taking in, they would be neck and neck, but for the fact that he slayed Ursula.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they both, to be fair about the second movie part, they both have 2 movies, They both have 2 movies. I do think I would go with Eric, personally. So, but Eric, is Tim a big Kristoff fan? Did I not know this? Or is it because of the second movie? I don't know. It is tough. Like I'm shocked that, because when I made this bracket, I never imagined in my wildest dreams Eric would make it to final 2. But I'm pleasantly surprised Eric made it to final 2, because that's like pretty awesome. He deserves it. He's a good guy, He is
a good guy. He is a good guy. He's not like, he doesn't have the arrogance that Naveen had. He's not living in a wild like Kristoff.
Oh, he said it was his go-to guy last night. Kristoff was, yeah.
Well, he's a great guy. He's a great guy, but up against Eric. Now, if he was up against Eugene, I would probably still choose Kristoff. But up against Eric, I'm going to go with Eric.
Yeah. Well, I will give Kristoff a vote for Tim, in honor of Tim, because they're heading home from their vacation right now. And if they watch the playback later, this is for you, Tim. I gave him a vote. He still lost. I'm sorry. He made it to Title 3, so you should be happy. I mean, Christina didn't even want him making it out of preliminaries. So he fought his way up. He fought his way. Okay. So our final 2 are our 2 E princes, Eric and Eugene. I feel like I kind of know which way Jean Claire is going to go here. Could be wrong, though. I was wrong about the last one.
I'm sticking with Eric on this one.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Eric on this one.
It's hard. Because I think Eric is such a good guy, and he's so sweet. And, like, Eugene is, like, more sarcastic. So it's hard because I want to say Eugene because he's my boy and the smolder, but I don't know. Eric was also like perfect prince too. Tammy says Eric. She's sticking with her Eric vote as well. I don't know. Let's see. Christina says Eugene all the way. Okay. Eugene.
Okay. I need some explanation though. Like why?
I'm torn between Eric and Eugene for this final. I really am. I don't know which one to pick because I'm very conflicted. I love Eric as a dad. I love him as he's just a good guy. But like I know Eugene loves Rapunzel. And okay, let's just back this up for a second because Eugene.
Hey, bro, really?
My vote might be the tiebreaker here, and I'm.
See, it's the smolder. I told you women are so easy.
Okay, listen. Let's back up because I'm trying to decide myself. So Eric is like super nice, great dad. Eugene though is a little more. Oh, okay, wait. Christina says Eric is too perfect. Eugene is able to grow and is way more relatable. I do agree. But I also think back to that part, like where, he wanted the jewels, right? And then he like is willing to give that up to be with Rapunzel, which is just so sweet. Which Eric would have done that too, probably. We don't know because he never had that. He never had to make that choice. But you have this person that has like literally nothing. He doesn't know she's a princess at this point, anyways, and he's willing to like give that up to be with her. So I think that's beautiful. So I guess my vote has got to be Eugene because he had nothing. And he was still willing to give up the jewels to be with Rapunzel. So I feel like for me, it's got to be Eugene because he was a precious boy, and he is more relatable, I feel like. But you know, Eric he's right up there. He's right up there. So I mean, he almost won 3-2, which I expected Eugene to make it to final 2. I didn't really expect Eric to make it to final 2. So Eric did better than I was expecting him to do. Christina's real excited. You know what, Christina? You needed this win after this hard bracket.
After Adam, you needed that.
after Adam, after you know, Shang didn't make it, and Kristoff just kept pushing his way up to You needed this win. You needed it. So I'm glad we were able to give it to you. So this was fun. I enjoyed doing this. And I mentioned this at the beginning, so I was going to end with this. My pick for Best Overall Prince was Eugene during my tier ranking that I did like last month for Valentine's Day. So Ajana Claire, not considering Instagram's vote, not considering everyone else's vote, who would your overall perfect prince be? Like, who would be your winner if if no voting counted except for your own votes?
Eric.
Eric?
It was a toss-up. Like, I had to think about that one. It was a toss-up between Eric and Kristoff. Like, it was a toss-up.
Really?
Like, putting those two against each other, I feel like Eric is a better version of Kristoff.
Yeah. Well, our guys made it to the end. So, I mean, we did pretty good.
Christina's face.
Christina, would yours have been Adam? I feel like it probably would have been, but it's not a bad choice. Adam needs to go. Oh, I'm kidding. I know. No, but Eugene would have been my pick for real. I think Eugene, I mean, Aladdin is up there too for me. Eric is up there. Those would probably be my top 3. But I love all of them pretty much, except for like, Naveen, apparently. I've never even seen that movie, but y'all like turned me off to Naveen. So
I mean, he's not a bad guy. It's just,
yeah.
He's just, I don't know. Maybe I feel like I've met too many Naveens in real life that I just don't see any redeeming. Like, it's hard for me to see the redeeming qualities.
Yeah. April agrees with me. She picked Eugene. I mean, it's hard not to. I made a good point for him giving up those jewels. I feel like that was, makes me. I want to like go rewatch Tangled right now. Oh, and if Katie was on here, Katie would make an argument that we need to watch the Tangled series because Eugene apparently is the best in the Tangled series.
Okay. So maybe we need to add that to our list.
We do. My ever growing list of things I'm never gonna get to complete.
Oh, I want to play this game with you.
Okay. After.
What about Zoelle? Zoelle, who's your favorite Disney prince?
Who's your favorite prince?
Hans.
Oh my God! She always says that. She always says that. We get into a lot of fights in this house about Hans. I'm like, Hans is not welcome in this house. Like, she is a Hans fan, and I don't understand why. Like, we have to have conversations about this. She always says that.
Same, Christina. Same. I'm dead too. Hi. Well, that was not what I was expecting, Zoelle, but thank you for the input. I'm grateful. You're so cute. Yes, Jake said Eugene is the goat too. I think he is, personally. He started from the bottom, and he didn't even want to get. His goal wasn't even to get the princess, and he got a princess anyways. So Go Eugene for winning at life. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming. And thank you, of course, Ajana, Claire, and Zoelle for being awesome guests. For Zoelle giving us her insight. Appreciated it. Okay. So really quick before we go, I was going to say next week is going to be the last March Madness, and that's going to be the princess bracket. So we did princes, we did sidekicks, we did villains. Zoelle's excited, or she's yawning. I don't know which one. Yes, she's excited. So she's either excited or yawning. I cannot tell.
She's excited for princess. You said princess.
Favorite princess. We're having the showdown next week. Christina and others, if you don't want to be mad about how the preliminaries turn out, go and vote on Instagram. But that'll be next week. Before we go, Ajana, Claire, if you want to say what's coming up on your channel. Before we go, if you want to say what's coming up on your channel real quick.
Yeah, so we got more unboxings, we got hauls. I'm still finishing up the Hilton Head series, and then we're going to do our Disney World series. So those vlogs are coming out, and I am almost at 500 subscribers. So guys, help me get to 500 because I have a collaboration. I'm working on a new product with Mickey Loop. And if you guys love Mickey Loop unboxings, you are going to want to see this new box that they are creating that will only be released once my channel hits 500 subscribers. So,
yay! That's so exciting.
The faster we get there, the faster we can see this new product.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Also, thank you, Jake. You are so nice. You always have really nice comments, and I appreciate it. All right. Well, that is going to be it for this stream. I appreciate all y'all coming on. Again, thank you, Ajana, Claire, and Zoelle. Zoelle, like April said, was the real MVP for the game. Even though we have to agree to disagree about Hans. I'm not
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Why do you like Hans? Why do you like Hans? Because he's so... We have to have a conversation in this house. She said because he's so handsome.
Bye.
I have to go have a mommy-daughter talk.
Maybe I'm surprised Eugene won. I know. It was a tight race between him and Eric. I'm sorry your boy Eric didn't pull through. All right, we're gonna go so Zoelle can kind of get away from the Hans brainwashing that apparently. Bye. See y'all next week.
Bye.